don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Raise up a white flag. Didn't come this far just to turn back. The curtains fall for the last act. Breaking that levee, breaking that levee. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We don't back down, this is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
It's explosive. You can't control this, no. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor, never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light. explosive.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
LSRTV, your home for sim racing, welcomes you to the Wednesday Night Super Speedway Money Series. It's the FEG PC, or the FEG PC Customs Wednesday night Daytona, back at the World Center of Racing virtually. Going to be a fun 35 laps. The drivers are piling in. We're ready to go on your home for sim racing. Good evening, I'm Wesley Outland, fresh in from calling basketball radio play-by-play. Joined alongside is my buddy up in New Jersey, Jason Rockefeller. How cold is it up in New Jersey, my friend? Because it's got pretty darn cold down here in North Carolina since we were at 70 degrees during the weekend before the tornadoes and the thunderstorms came in. Cold front behind it. How cold is it up in New Jersey?
Well, right now, Wesley, and good evening to you, by the way, it is a cool 38 degrees, but the real feel outside with the wind, if my weather app wants to work, is somewhere around 28 degrees, and the real feel is 29 right now. So, yeah, it's pretty cold. I don't like the cold. I am not a winter person at all. I am more of a, yeah, Charles, I would absolutely love to trade, because I would... Yeah, I would love some 55-degree weather right now. That would be absolutely amazing. I'm a fall guy. But yeah, hey, we're at Daytona again tonight, just like we've been swapping back and forth between Talladega and Daytona these last few weeks. Man, I'm ready to get going as practice is winding down. This should be a really, really exciting race here tonight, as usual.
Yeah. What's the next round? I believe we're at round 5, I think it is. Round 5 tonight. Round 6 tonight at Daytona. So, yeah, man, there's only 3 races left to go in the Wednesday night series after tonight, man, and obviously the clock is ticking. If you want to make a run to the championship, obviously you better do it now. But most importantly, though, Jason, it's all about money in this series. It's all about bragging rights. Obviously, there is point standings, but man, you want to put money in your pocket. This is what you do. What Jeffrey Ford's created here.
Yeah, and it's really awesome, to see a lot of these money races being held, because it gets drivers to drive around other people. It gives them, a sense to go out there and race for something. Yeah, you're running out here for, craps and giggles and whatnot, but you're out here having a fun time. And oh my goodness, what is this, Charles? You are right. We have open qualifying, no single car, open car qualifying right now.
This is
did
open.
This the other night. Oh,
We're
my
in Europe.
goodness.
We're in Europe, European style qualified, but everybody's on the racetrack at the same time.
We're back in 2015, I think. Remember back in 2015?
5-minute clock.
2019, you said the same thing. Group qualifying. They haven't had Daytona group qualifying since 2015 when, oh my goodness, all that heck broke loose and everything like that.
I actually like it. It makes it go by faster. And the biggest thing, Jason's don't crash. Respect the man beside you trying to get around him, but you want to put him a good lap down. They want to put a good lap down. Just be mindful. You got plenty of room around Daytona. Take advantage of it. Use it properly. And as I say that, there is almost 20-plus trucks screaming, snarling around Daytona in a 5-minute time lap down that they can in qualifying here.
Yeah, and really the key is here, Wesley, is obviously just to get grouped up and go out there, run the fastest lap you can, stay pile, don't move out of line. Unless you're a pack that's coming with a head of steam, then try to move out of line. But you're going to see these guys racing just as if it was really a practice session, but they're trying to get up there towards the front of this field in qualifying. I'm assuming you're going to see a lot of the guys who are usually very good at running in the draft probably post up at the top of the field, like Matthew Baker, George Bart, probably Justin Mills, John Ward, just to name a few, Navarro, Everhart, Jones, York. There's a few drivers out here that are probably going to end up at the top of this leaderboard by the end of this, obviously. And we're only having about 2.5 minutes left. So these guys, oh, and there we go. Oh, my goodness. What a wreck. And that is not something you want to do.
No, you don't want to be airborne. This is holy spot. We got him airborne coming out of turn 4.
All right, boys, bring out the backup truck.
Right now, it looks like Matthew Baker, who, by the way, had a solid runner-up finish in the American 500 that you saw Sunday with the McCullough Motorsports on LSRTV, is right there, the number 2 spot. And right now, there we watch Joshua McCullough work his way into the back stretch. By the way, Aubrey Thompson, he's in the house coming off of that big win. Jason, not only for the American 500, controversial if it may be, same thing Saturday night when he won the ugly sweater race with the ugly sweater 250 at Daytona, I believe it was.
Yeah, Aubrey Thompson, I talked to Aubrey after the ugly sweater 250 race, and I said, well, man, you finally got one of these things. He said, yeah, I'm pretty damn happy about that. And the next thing you know, he goes and wins the All-American 500 that you guys were running, obviously, the other night at Talladega. And I think Aubrey Thompson is probably really, really strong. One of those drivers who can get it done tonight. And I'm just going to call my shot early. I think Aubrey Thompson makes it 3 for 3 in races I'm going to call here from Saturday to now. And obviously Sunday I was not part of that, but you, Mr. Terry Radford, did a fantastic job up on the call. Charles Wooten in the production booth, as always, doing his shenanigans. He's always fun to watch and listen to in our ears. Yeah, he's always got shenanigans. He's always got something up his sleeve, and you never know when it's going to happen. He'll tell you, all right, we're going to commercial breaker. All right, let's crank these boys up. It doesn't matter, but all jokes aside, though, great races.
Jason, he got a little hot under the collar in pre-race show for Sunday
night.
Oh,
I heard about it. I heard about it.
I was about to tell him, you ain't getting no refund, damn it. No, we had somebody that dropping F-bombs and asking where mamas were and how can I make you my wife because I'm single. And it was just crazy. And just not what you would want to hear in a pre-race show, and no means of the imagination. And poor Charles had to step in. Terry had to step in. I had to step in. We had to put our foot down. But, man, at the end of the day, it was a fun time. I see in the chat box from McCullough Motorsports, Jason, they're already working on trying to find a way to make the next big race. They're already working on the next big race to be in January and working on the format and working on maybe not having 60 cars. Because all the trucks was that was a lot. That was a lot on Sunday night. But, man, it was a fun time. There's a first time for everything. And obviously for us watching Euro qualifying for the first time for the FEG PC Custom Series.
Yeah, and if I were to give the McCulloughs an idea, I'm going to just throw this out there and say Gen 4 cars at Indianapolis. I know it doesn't race the best, but you do it in like a Brickyard 400 style, I think that would be something to really watch. It would be really cool to see them do that. But obviously, qualifying, though, coming to an end here in just 24 seconds. The timer's already expired, but this is just for drivers to finish up their laps, and you're seeing a few trying to do that right now. That's Samuel Carter in the 85 machine right up in front of him. That's 76 as well. I believe that's Ron Morris Jr. They're going to complete their laps, I believe, this time by, and it looks like these will be the final 2 cars to try to post a lap time, and it looks like Damon Gilbert is going to be able to take the pole here tonight, Wesley, for round number 6.
Hey, real quickly, let's take a look at the Hunt the Front TV. Right. No, my apologies. Just race analysis and weather only. Kaufman Creative weather conditions is what I meant to say. 77 degrees air temp. Track temp is at 79, if you will. Of course, the miles per hour wind speed is at 2 miles an hour in sim time. Oh, yeah, Jason, what do you think of our new theme music, brother?
I absolutely love this stuff. I tell you what, Charles with the shenanigans not having the Hunt the Front TV, but man, he's got some good tunes for us to give the starting lineup here for round number 6.
Let's do it from the World Center of Racing virtually, round 6 of the FEG PC Custom Series. Damon Gilbert fast in Euro qualifying. He's on the pole. Devin Ray to the outside, row 1. Row 2, Daytona, Nash, Brambilla in the 18, and Josh Girabrone in the number 49. Row 3, Stephen Hendren in the 15, and George Bark in the 54. Pardon the pun. Row 4, Logan York to 01. And the race director from the American 500 back in the booth to race. Ron Morris Jr. starts 8. Top 10, Jason. We'll find Richard Elliott the 02. John Mollahan the 26, your top 10 at Daytona.
Top 20, Tucker McLean in there in the 27 machine, and Matthew Baker in the number 5. Been so fast recently, we'll see if he can get one done tonight. Row number 7, Matt Lee, 1 lap week at Talladega by 7/1000ths of a second over Andrew Navarro. Trevor Osmanoff in the 89 to the outside. Row number 8 goes to Joshua McCullough, and Andrew Navarro there trying to redeem himself by besting out what he finished last week. Row number 9, Daniel Eberhardt, one of Navarro's buddies. John Moore in the 92, been so fast as well. Row number 10, Dylan Jones. And my pick for tonight's event, trying to go 3 in a row on the super speedways, Aubrey Thompson in the 38.
Keep an eye on the wild card there. Making up row number 11, Joseph Allen and Christopher Blanchard from Nazareth in the 19. Row 12, Kenneth McCullough Jr., McCullough Motorsports, Justin Mills alongside. Row 13 will find Danny Barnes and Blaine Dalton. Row 14, final starter, Samuel Carter in the 85 machine. Ready to go, 35 laps around the virtual World Center of Racing. Jason, you know, I jumped in the box and was talking with Charles and y'all, and I was like, there's only 7 drivers here. What in the world? That doubled to close to 30 within less than 10 minutes. What a turnout they got for the FEG, or the FEG PC Custom Series. I was told don't call it FEG. It's the FEG PC Custom Series. Ready to go for money tonight at Daytona, brother.
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. It's going to be a fun one. We've had a blast, obviously, both me and you and Charles with his shenanigans, like I said before, these last 5 weeks. About to make it 6. 3 more after tonight. And again, these guys are all here to run after the money. They got a few races more to go tonight. This will be the only one we will broadcast. But man, these first 5 races this year have been absolutely electrifying. Last week, we saw Matthew Baker edge out Andrew Navarro by, I call it the Ryan Blaney margin, because Ryan Blaney's won 2 times at Talladega by 7/1000ths of a second, Mr. 007. And that's what Matthew Lee was able to do over Andrew Navarro tonight. But again, watch out for Aubrey Thompson in that 38 machine. Had a lot of bad luck recently here, and he said that to us on Saturday night after the Ugly Sweater 250. He won that race.
Oh, yeah.
He won the All-American 500 on Friday, or not Friday night, but Sunday night. Trying to make it 3 in a row here for the Money Series this week.
And you know what else we have, speaking of the shenanigans, that is Charles Wooten's production. It's time to feel the roar. Ladies and gentlemen, round 6, Daytona, the run for the money underway at the Virtual World Center of Racing, and we are green. We haven't done Feel the Roar in a while, so we gave you a couple of laps of the thunder here at Daytona. Damon Gilbert leads the opening laps. Brambilla, Hendrick get around there for second and third. Gia Braun and York now. They're right there 2 by 2. Two-stepping off the high banks on the super stretch. Jason on lap number 2.
Yeah, bottom side's going to surge out just a little bit right here. David Gilbert's got that push coming from Stephen Hendrick in the 15. You see the 01 Logan York back behind him right there, trying to give a little bit of a push to the bottom. The 15 really squirrely, go through turn number 3 through the center. You right on board with Logan York in the 01 machine. He is charging hard on the bottom side, but this outside lane, led by Nash Brambilla, they are making a surge back to the lead side by side as they hit lap number 4.
That's the perfect word you can think of as actually a surge, if you will, is right now Gilbert holding on to that top spot, top 3 rows, if you will, pulling away from the man in 7th of McClendon. He's waiting patiently. Oh, we got to think of Terry Radford. He's got the Tennessee Volunteers on the truck. Oh, down the back straightaway. Gilbert, roll tide, somebody, roll tide. Brambilla and McClendon all going at it there. Right now, all this happening as you're on board there for a moment in the 27, trying to run down York, trying to get in this pack, and look at the Candyman, Brambilla colors, working off turn 4, big spike as he's in the lead. Right now, Giabrone up on the outside. Corona time at Daytona. Please drink responsibly. I recommend after this race is over as they work into turn number 1.
Yeah, Brambilla had a really good surge of momentum coming off turn number 4, jumped down to the bottom right in front of the 68 machine of Damon Gilbert. This outside, though, has a big surge of momentum as well coming off the corners. And Wesley, we've talked about this over the last few weeks. Daytona, that outside lane has such an enormous amount of momentum off these corners from being up higher in the corners. And once you get onto those straightaways, whether it be off turn number 2 or off turn number 4, that outside lane really cooks well. And you're going to see it right here coming off turn number 4. Watch how fast that this outside lane is going to get away here from this bottom side once they get out of tri-oval. But look at that number 18 machine of Nash Brambilla. He's actually hanging pretty tough right there on the bottom side. As Bart closes the door, they nearly put it 3 wide out of the tri-oval back to 1.
Right now, still that pack that had 6 or 7 trucks has now become about a 10-12 scramble. Working off that corner now, down the super stretch here at the World Center of Racing, 35 laps. Don't forget, as Jason and I mentioned earlier, there is 2 or 3 money races here at Daytona coming up. Get your share of the money. The only one is live is race 1 right now. Showtime. The superstars of the FEG PC Custom Series working off of turn number 4. York and Bark. He's snarling. He's growling. He's on the outside. They battle door to door. Top 4 still right there, tighter than a lid on a pickle jar as they work their way back into turn number 1.
Yeah, George Bark just completely got such a good run off the corner, but now they're going to be side by side once again. This time Logan York able to surge out ahead on the bottom side, but here's what we were talking about, this outside off these corners. Look at the momentum they have down the back, and if you have 3 trucks lined up together, you could really slingshot your way all the way to the front of that pack as they head back into turn number 3. Bark moves down to the bottom, and then on the outside lane, that's Damon Gilbert in the 68 machine. He's trying to go back to lead as they come off 4.
Somehow, Bark now. It's Bark on the inside. Gilbert now up on the top as York is right there, nestled behind Bark. He's got that tandem draft, the pump draft there with Giambrone as well. Giambrone. And we got one up in the fence in the safer barrier. That's Dalton back in the top 10. Aerial coverage for tonight's race as you're watching up top side. Presented by LSRTV. And is proud to be your home for sim racing tonight. Bark getting some more company. Here comes York. Here comes Gilbert jumping on the line. And they're going to go 3 wide for the lead in the 3.
And they just split Logan York. He's going to go right through the sucker hole back to the bumper of Tucker McClendon right there in the 27 machine as they file on turn number 4. Here comes the 49 of Giambrone to the outside, 3 wide, pulls to the outside on George Bark. They're going to go back to lead, and Logan York right on the bumper. He'll move down to the bottom, but now the 49 does as well. They nearly wrecked through 1, and the 01 able to save it right there back to the bottom through 1 and 2.
Absolutely amazing. And now York, the monkey in the middle, going to the top side now, to the bottom. Monkey see, monkey do. Here comes Carter to the top. The man in the middle now is going to be the 27 of McClendon. He got the door shut on him. Out of nowhere came Hendren up the middle through the block, and he carried also Gilbert with him as they work now 2 by 2 again out of turn 4. Working lap number 10 next time by.
Watch out for Blaine Dalton in that number 11 the Midnight Moonshine car. Right now, he is doing really, really good all the way up to the 5th spot, plus 21 from where he started. I think if there's anybody here, Wesley, that could probably make a move to lead this pack, possibly bring it 3 wide yet again, get to the race lead, I would say it's the number 11 of Blaine Dalton, and he thinks for a moment to peek out of line. He'll tuck back in line there, 3rd up on the top side, behind Stephen Hendren as they file back to turn number 3. Gilbert and Giambrone still going at it side by side back to 3.
Somehow, some way, holding it together as they work through the corner. Off of 3 and 4, storm into the line. Giambrone now the new leader. Gilbert up on the top. York and Hendren stride for stride, side by side. Dalton in the top 5. Bark, Brambilla, McClendon, Blanchard, Carter. Sounds like a massive law firm. It's your top 10 as they go back to turn 1.
Oh, and the 68 thought about trying to get down on Giambrone going into turn number 1. Wasn't able to do it. They nearly split him 3 wide. Come back off turn number 2. Gilbert's going to surge back out to the front. He'll jump down to the bottom now. Leaves the outside open to Stephen Hendren. He'll get the push from Blaine Dalton down the back straightaway and back to 3. They're going to be side by side yet again. And here comes Blaine Dalton. Thought about peeking back out to the outside lane. 3 wide. They're going to tuck back in line now. Back to 2 as they work off 4.
What a monster move coming down to the tri-oval. And right now, everybody just putting on a phenomenal race right now in the opening 10 laps of this event. Everyone just kind of being respectful. But I'll tell you one thing, Jason, it's been fast and furious, and they're not done yet. Going 3 wide, Bark in the middle on a 2.
Yeah, Blaine Dalton tried to go 3 wide right there, and he gets shuffled back to the 3rd spot up on that top lane as they file back out down to the back straightaway. Everybody's starting to get single file because remember, yet again, just like Charles mentioned right in our ear, these guys are going to have to pit 2 times. One, if you're lucky, if you can time it just right. A couple weeks ago, Andrew Navarro, Dylan Jones, they all tried to conserve enough fuel, had a yellow flag come out, coming right to the white flag. They had to pit, got trapped in the back, and then all hell broke loose towards the end of that race, and we had a fantastic finish to the line, which involved George Clark going up in the air out of turn number 4. So 2 pit stops coming up. These guys only have 50% fuel load, so find your dancing partner, your little group that you want to be in now, because it's almost time to come to the pits here in a few laps.
And I would recommend, Terry mentioned in the American 500 before all the chaos happened, and I'll say it again, if you see anybody go for the undercut and you're up in the front, get your teammate, get them in line, whoever you're riding with, and somehow get to the pits as well, so you will not be in that bad of a bind. Right now, everybody holding their line, working off the corner. A bump draft almost went wrong between Dalton and Giabrone, as he was right there bumping the tailgate. You see a lot of side draft. You see a lot of dirty air, if you will. You hear that in real life. You hear it in the virtual world. Is right now there's contact. Dalton's up in the fence. Everybody in the middle. Somehow Giabrone held it together out of 2.
What a move right there. You saw Giabrone. He thought about trying to go 3 wide, hesitated for a moment, but as the 11 opened up the door, the 49 said, man, I'm not letting you back in line again. Blaine Dalton goes all the way back to outside the top 10 right now, battling with the 85 of Sam Carter. Where did he come from? Started dead last, and now he is all the way up to this lead pack. It's craziness, it's madness, it's chaos out here as we're about halfway through this right now as we hit lap number 15.
And somehow, someway, they hold it together again. Round 6 tonight. Super Speedway, big money on the line. I thought at the 27, McClendon was going to jump off to the top shelf. He was going to go after it. He backed out, went back to the bottom. They're 2x2, dosing no into the back straightaway, but now Hendren having the opportunity to lead the way, but not for long. Giabrone, Corona Tom on the outside of the 3.
Yeah, big side-by-side right there going into the corner. Here comes Blaine Dalton. He's going to try to make it 3 wide all by himself. Again, going to the outside of Tucker McClendon and also Gilbert on the inside. Dalton tucks back in line. 4 trucks up on the top, all led by Josh Giabrone there in that Ford F-150 back to the line. Steven Hendren is going to lead that time by halfway through now. Halfway to go pretty much almost. 20 now laps remaining in tonight's race. Pit stops, though, coming very, very shortly for all 27 of these drivers.
Gotta be thinking it's coming. Those pit stops you were referring to. Wow, right now, 20 laps to go. They gotta make a pit stop. They've not done it yet. Right now, Steven Hendren holding his line, working off that corner.
Here we go.
Here they come. I figured it was coming. I figured it was coming. Flawlessly, cannot make a mistake. Got to be hitting your marks perfectly. Am I right, Jason?
Yeah, and the 49 right there of Josh Giabrone, he lost a few spots coming to pit road. He had to lock it up, thought he was going to overshoot. The same thing with Logan York, and those guys up on the outside were able to make up a few spots by passing those two. But other than that, flawless execution by a lot of these guys. No tires going on the trucks, just fuel, and they're out and away. That's your first group.
Perfect pit stop. Getting it done. And now you've got contact. Holding together, guys. Oh, they're about to wreck entering the pit lane. 4 wide, 5 wide. They've got to lift. They got to slow down. And Asha Eswanath will do that. He'll lead the cavalry. The Thundering Herd had to quickly go from 5 wide onto the pit lane and quickly avoid calamity and a penalty for that matter, Jason. I think they all unscathed it.
I thought right there that 18 machine of Nash Brambilla was going to get absolutely turned coming down the front straightaway into the pit lane. Sure enough, though, they were all able to stay cool, calm, and collective they recollect their thoughts, they recollect their trucks, and just like that, the second group is out and away. Still a couple more drivers ready to come to the pits pretty soon. And what do you know? It's 3 drivers that are up there towards the front, but they are separated big time. Andrew Navarro, Daniel Eberhard, Joshua McCullough. Those 3 look like they're going to be coming in this time. Here comes Navarro, here comes Eberhard, and McCullough all the way back there, 10 seconds back. Something might have happened to these guys to not let them pit. I think if there's out of all 3 groups that have pit, these 3 are definitely going to be in a lot of trouble right here.
Trying to somehow make it onto the pit lane, hit their marks. Definitely in trouble now. Navarro, Eberhard, McCullough under the gun, pitting early. I think they thought maybe there might have been a caution because here comes Hendren. He'll storm to the line in the tri-oval. 17 to go. We're halfway home. And he's back to the lead as he'll pass Navarro going back to turn 1.
I think Andrew Navarro and Daniel Eberhard might try that one-stop strategy possibly. I mean, you think back to a couple weeks ago when they all tried to do it, and I believe it was Eberhard, it was definitely Navarro and Dylan Jones and a couple of others, but they didn't know if they were going to make it. Sure enough, we heard in post-race they said they were. The late race caution definitely played a factor, so that's the risk that you take by trying to run a little bit off the pace, sacrifice some time so that you could stay out and save that fuel. But obviously, if the caution comes out, your strategy is completely thrown out the window.
Yeah, it has, and right now, just watching them all work their way now back to the line again. 16 laps to go, and you got to think, Jason, what is it? Could you go to the finish now with these drivers where they're at now? You got less than 15 laps to go next time by. Can these drivers go to the finish now instead of not making 2 pit stops?
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to, obviously. I mean, we're going to have to find out here, you know, what's going to happen. I mean, I would assume that those guys that just pit, they're going to be able to save enough fuel. But again, it's going to be really close because we didn't really get to see how it was all going to play out a couple weeks ago when we were last here. So we'll find out if Navarro, if Eberhard, and the other driver, obviously, I believe was Joshua McCullough, if they could save enough fuel. But they were pretty separated. Eberhard and Navarro came out together, but they are well back there. I just don't know if it's going to work out, but we're definitely going to see, I believe, one more pit stop for sure.
Yeah, and it probably will be between 7 to 5 laps to go, I believe, also. So within the next 10 to 12 laps, it'll somehow take fruition as right now they work their way off turn 4. Let's give it the top 10 now, lap 20. Stephen Hendren, the leader. Damon Gilbert now to the back straightaway. George Barkin 3rd, Logan York 4th, John Mollahan 5th. Then it's Matt Lee, winner last week, Devin Ray. Nash Brambilla, Samuel Carter, John Ward, top 10. They're all single file. That's the conga line. 15 to go at Daytona, back to turn number 1 as they work through the tri-oval here, minding their P's and Q's. Everybody just kind of get into precision lane, single file to prepare for that big launch to decide the winner. Back to 1, Jason.
Yeah, so there's a few things here. One, these guys are going to run single file because they want to try to advance their time up as much as possible, running tightly compacted up together, not pulling out a line. So they want to try to do that, but also because they're going to have to pit more than likely one more time. 2, also there's still 14 laps to go. There's no reason to really race, but as I say that, here comes Damon Gilbert, jumps out of line. He'll go to the outside with the 54 of George Clark. And they're going to work to the outside now in the 15 of Hendren. He's going to get split right down to the bottom. And look at this pack shuffling up. But again, with these guys having to pit just one more time, you're going to have those guys being impatient like you saw Gilbert and Bart. So I can only imagine that some of these other drivers are going to be impatient as well.
Don't forget, there's an opportunity for some more money races coming up after this one. Only race number 1 of the Wild Wednesday Money Series for Super Speedway on LSRTV. We'll be back at Talladega for the next round. Trouble. Oh my, we got one going around. Up the bottom of the apron. Back up to the top of this strawway. Caution flag.
Oh!
Well, let's get back. What a hit! Oh my goodness!
Oh.
Logan York in the middle of the track and just got plowed into literally. Ow.
Yeah.
Watch
Wesley,
the replay. First caution of the race now. This changes everything, Jason.
Yeah, it definitely does. These guys are going to pit probably right here, but Logan York, you're going to see him. I believe he tries to get in line, and yeah, he does. Just gets shuffled, and then, oh no, in the 92 machine, John Ward I think just accidentally hooked him. And then right here, you can't exactly blame the 01 right here just because I don't think, you know, he knew that those guys were all going to be going like that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to be in the middle of the track. That's kind of common sense. But again, the way that he came back out there was nothing he could do. I mean, like, what is he supposed to do? Throw it back in reverse magically and try to avoid the field? Not really on Logan York's part at all. Just really a racing deal. And it was very unfortunate that there was another pack coming side by side behind him as well.
Another look at it. Watch this again. There's the contact. This is on board with York. Oh, boy, oh, boy. McCullough just missed him after the contact by Ward. And there you see, look at this. Look at it. Count it. Here they come. Oh, man. Who is it that plowed into him? That's the question. Is that Matt Lee? Up there, the truck up top there. Who is that? What number? It's a black and green truck. I know that much.
I think it was Danny Barnes in the 7.
In the 7,
no,
Jay. Yeah, there you go. Let's go on board with him, Charles. This will be fun. The 7 of Barnes. Extended replay. On board with 7, Jason. Listen to this. Oh, my goodness. Just...
Oh, they all juked. He had no idea. He had no idea Logan York was going to be on that bottom. Everybody, in a sense, broke his ankles, juked him, and faked him out. And the 7 just ran right into him. Never expected Logan York to be right there on the middle of the racetrack.
We'll take a break. They're going to come to pit road. We'll settle it out, and we get ready for a shootout showdown. Monday here at the Virtual World Center of Racing. Wednesday night, Wild Wednesday. That's why it is the FEG PC Custom Money Series. We're back in Daytona for the finish in a moment. iRacing, LSRTV.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race on Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
At Click It RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Well, it's changed everything. 1 caution already in. Welcome back to coverage. The FEG PC Custom Wednesday Night Wild Super Speedway Money Series. There it is. Virginia811.com reminding you to dig with care and call before you dig this holiday season. If hubby or wife is putting in a new swimming pool, before you tear the ground and accidentally cut off your next door neighbor's power, unless you're meaning to do it, you're a Grinch like me, a humbug. Then look for you. Yes, exactly. You can cut down, you can tear down a power line, you can tear down a phone line, a cable line, any pipes, water lines, you name it. And the folks at Virginia 811 and all of the 811.org affiliates make sure that, whatever you're digging, preparing to build underground, they can let you know if it's safe or not. We're ready to go back to the restart, Jason. This is going to be fun. Single digits, 9 to go. 14 lead changes in this race so far, and I got a feeling now you just turned up the whip for an awesome restart here, Jason.
Yeah, we're about to find out right here with 9 laps to go at the line, Wesley. I don't think we are going to be done wrecking just yet. We thought it was chaos earlier in this race or last week or the weeks prior. Wait for these next 9 laps. We are in for a show. They're back to 1.
There'll be a fun one right now as they work their way back into the corner of the restart. 9 laps to go as they hit turn number 2 down that super stretch. And right now, Baker up in front. He wants redemption from the American 500, Jason. He is the leader as they work to 3.
Yeah, back to turn number 3. There's that number 90 of Daniel Eberhard trying to lead the surge up at the top side. They're nearly 3 wide. Matt Baker's going to hold them all the way up tight to the outside. They're 3 wide. Things are going to get tight off 4. But as they lead back to the start-finish line, Daniel Eberhard going to lean them back. Damon Gilbert holds that top side 3 wide. Eberhard blocks. Oh, there's no! In front of the field. Big crash.
Eberhard into the safer barrier. Barks wrecking. So are others. McCullough crashed. Astronaut crashed. Hendricks caught up in it. Giabrone involved. The big one. Kind of. 8 to go. Not about 1,000 foot from the start-finish line, and calamity and a jam session. Watch this again, Jason. You knew it was getting antsy here, and it's from a bump draft gone wrong.
Yeah, all from a bump draft gone wrong right there. Just such a heartbreak right there. And really, it was all blocking. I mean, Eberhard tried going from the bottom. He tried going from the whoa, one truck nearly goes on its lid. Believe that was the 76 machine of Ron Morris Jr. possibly. But we're going to see here if we can get another replay just to see clearly, because I believe it was Eberhard due to him blocking. But here's the 76 machine, Ron Morris. I believe this is the truck that ended up going airborne. But here is from Daniel Eberhard's perspective. You see him going from middle. He's going to try to go to the top side right here. And I don't know if he got a bad push or whatnot right here, but through the tri-oval, it's like, I think he tried to get back in line. I think he got a little bit of too much of a good push from the 68, sent him sideways, and made the 68 go higher. The number 90 went a little bit towards the middle. When they tried to reconnect together, all hell broke loose back down into 1.
And another caution, second one of the race. And obviously, everybody's pitted except for Baker and Navarro. They pitted one time. Eberhard pitted one time, but he just got caught up in the accident. This is on board with Ron Morris, race director on Sunday, behind the wheel tonight, and his view of what just happened here. Look at the banking, even on the front stretch here at Daytona, Jason. That just kind of gives you an idea of the banking down the front straightaway in the tri-oval. And look at this. Whoa!
Yeah.
Put it out. I'm involved.
I have actually driven on this racetrack quite a couple times in real life, and I tell you what, you cannot see anything. You can only see a few, maybe about 100 feet in front of you, and then you can't really see anything, especially when you're going through 1 and 2. It's so difficult. The G-forces just suck you right down into the seat. You can't lift your feet up off the floorboard at all inside the race cars and whatnot. It's really, really so interesting how the G-forces just pull you down into the seat. You're not able to see because your vision is completely sideways. You're at an angle, and you feel the G-forces pushing you down into the seat, both to the left and to the back, with your back up against the seat, of course. But I mean, that's the thing about plate racing. Well, not plate racing. We don't call it that anymore. But I guess you could say plate racing with the trucks, not the next gens, because it's a tapered spacer nowadays. But I'm not going to geek out on that. But the point is that you cannot see anything in front of you. You're behind one truck, another truck. You can only see what's in front of your windshield for those few dozens, few hundred feet. And then besides that, you have no idea what's ahead of you.
I don't think anybody is per se going to come to the pit lane. So you have what you got right now. 5 laps to go. Still under caution. Looking at probably still in the original distance. So a 4-lap shootout when we come back to the line this time around. They might get the one to go. Lights will be off. Obviously, Jason, you think of Matthew Baker, man. He was so close to winning the American 500 on Sunday. I encourage you, if you haven't done so, take a look at the broadcast replay if you want to watch the 6 hours in its entirety. If you don't want to, go on my Facebook page or LSRTV, because I know I tagged Charles in it. I know I tagged Terry in it. You can see the replay, or you can see the highlights of the last shootout of the finish of the race. The crazy crash at the white flag, and then basically what happened between Baker and the other guy, Heights, as well as the driver, Aubrey Thompson, who was blinking. He popped back into view, Jason, working turn number 3, coming to the checkered flag. He kept flashing in and out, in and out, in and out. Shades, honestly, is what Terry said happened on Saturday, and he was able to get a surprising win Saturday in the Ugly Sweater 250. He turned around and done the same thing in the American 500, and obviously Matthew Baker had to settle for the bridesmaid spot. He wants redemption on a super speedway somehow, some way. Maybe 72 hours later, he might be able to do that here. But obviously, you got a guy like Andrew Navarro, and we know how good he's been on the Money Series this year as well.
I'm still not counting out Aubrey Thompson there. I know he's back in 14th. You can see him right there coming into view. It was that yellow, black, and white checkered back bumper you saw up on that outside. He's going to restart right there. But I think Aubrey Thompson is one that you definitely don't want to reckon with right here. And remember, here's the thing to note, Wesley. Remember, with this series, they 2 attempts at an overtime finish. So if we have to use up those 2, that is it. This race could very well end under caution. You think back to the first 2 weeks, one of those races ended under caution, won by Andrew Navarro, I believe it was, after a massive wreck happened coming to the white flag, I believe it was, and Andrew was able to win that race. So if need be, we have those 2 attempts at overtime, but they're going to restart here with 4 laps to go, so we're not exactly at an attempt just yet.
Regular scheduled distance still remaining, 4 to go. Lap 31 will go up on the scoreboard, and it is pucker time. More aggression, more driving, more blocking. Ready to go, back to green, Daytona, Baker inside, Navarro outside. The pushers are, of course, Jones and Rhea McCullough. They work into turn number 1, and the top 2, 3, 4 rows splitting away like the way the race started, Jason, off 2.
And Andrew Navarro was nowhere to be found at all this entire race, pretty much running in the middle to back of the pack. Now he finds himself with an opportunity to come home with yet another FEG PC Money Series win tonight. He's got help from Devin Ray up on the top side. Also behind him, Kenneth McCullough. And the bottom side, 3, 4 trucks trying to get in line as they come off 4, coming at 3 to go.
This time by to the stripe. It will be 3 laps to go. A block throw down to the inside. Navarro protects the bottom. He's got Baker now up behind him. Now the outside lane, but they climb the bank into turn number 1. That's 31 degrees off of turn 2.
And Navarro trying to throw blocks. They might try to split him right here in the middle. They know how strong he is. He gets loose, wiggles from the bump right there to the rear end from Devin Ray. But as they come back to turn number 3, Baker's going to surge out ahead. He's got help from Dylan Jones. You have the 2 of Justin Mills. They're 3-1. Here comes Aubrey Thompson. He's going to push Kenneth McCullough all the way to the race lead. Almost up 4 to go.
You mentioned the go button, and here comes Aubrey Thompson to the outside. He's up on the top shelf, helping McCullough steal the cookies from Grandpa. On the top side, the penultimate race of the event. 2 to go. Back to turn number 1. Navarro and McCullough will duke it out up the bank and into the corner.
And Navarro's going to slam the door right there on the 5 of Baker. Back to 1 and 2. Will they make it back to the white flag? Charles, yes, he says no. 3 wide down the back straightaway. A lap and a half to go. McCullough goes from top to middle. Navarro on the bottom. This opens up the door for Aubrey Thompson up to the outside.
Oh, come on!
Big massive board.
Correction, if man went to Vegas, Charles wouldn't have cashed in his chips. He'd be a millionaire right now. He said no, ixnay, nine, niet, nada, can't, won't, crash. Overtime at Daytona. And look at the replay. Holy cow, they were 3 wide almost down the entire pack. And then you knew, Jason, tempers were going short. Patience was literally on a thin line. It was in the red. And here's the end result of what just happened here.
I don't think that the patience was on a thread. I think the patience is completely out the window. We're going to take one more look at it. Oh my goodness, one truck way up in the air. Don't know if they went upside down, but man, that was a massive wreck. I believe it was John Ward getting tossed through the air like a soccer ball pretty much. Coming out of turn number 4, but we're going to take another look at the replay right here. This from John Ward in the 92. I don't believe it was John Ward, but you can see him right there. He's got a good view of what happens. Obviously, you see the 03 machine jump down to the bottom, one of the McCulloughs, and then right here, these guys all get so tight on each other. Going through 3 and 4, it all starts with the 03 coming down. He bounces off Navarro, he bounces off Baker, and then just slides right up into the wall. And oh, there you go. There's the 03. It was one of the McCulloughs nearly going up and over.
Yeah, the Georgia Bulldog colors. We got the Tennessee Volunteers, and we got the Georgia Bulldogs, obviously. Roll Tide is all I'm going to say. On board, Kenneth McCullough. This will be fun. Watch him on the back straightaway. He had the run right alongside Navarro for this spot before the big wreck happened. And obviously what you're not seeing in the rear view or on the driver view is the 3 wide. There's a shot at Navarro. There's the contact. There's nobody to blame, Jason. This is just the gremlin that is super speedway racing and bump drafting and tandem drafting and one wrong slip in dirty air, and of course wanting to be the man to be the first guy to the checkered flag. That's what happened here.
It's like trying to not feed the mogwai that's just so hungry after midnight. And obviously when you have the big one on the horizon at every single corner, you eventually feed that mogwai after midnight, and then it turns into a gremlin. That's what you saw right there. Going through 3 and 4, it's so hard to stay off one another going into these corners, especially 3 wide, so tight, coming to the white flag. There's not much you can do about it, Wesley, here at these super speedway races. It's so hard to prevent, and in all honesty, it's pretty much inevitable.
And we will now go to overtime. There is 3 attempts. No, two attempts, right? Two attempts. Or is it 3? We do so many leagues where they change it and flip. It's 2, right?
Yep.
It is 2. I thought so. Okay, 2. 2 attempts at overtime. By the way, don't forget, coming up in the month of January, we've got the Stars and Stripes Racing Series. That'll be fun. Cool things coming up. Obviously, this series wrapping up before the end of the new year. Some other as well.
Shenanigan comments.
One is Northwest Series. Charles, what you got? Making us kind of talk a little bit offline, and we sound great whenever we try to repeat what you're saying. And when they go in the pace car like they're on.
Nothing is confirmed. It's not even written in any kind of form. But obviously we wouldn't be announcing it. It would just be a feed. There is a charity go-kart race going on at Sabine Speedway in March of next year. Since it is a charity event, I got with the company, obviously I work for, Race On Texas, and there's a chance, we might try to hype this race up and get some charity going for a young kid. I'm not sure what all the circumstances are. His name's Tanner, I know that. but possibly do a little charity thing for them. So there'd be actual real-life go-kart racing on the channel, potentially in March.
Oh, wow. And what would you do? Like put me and Jason or somebody in the booth in real time calling the event?
Yeah, they'll have an announcer there calling the race, but we'll come in during breaks and stuff and, go in and try to hype it up and get people to donate to the charity.
It's pretty cool.
I'm all in.
All right. I'm all in. Let's see how it happens. I hope you're all in. Hope they're all in. These drivers are, because they're coming to what might be the penultimate race lap of the event. Round 6, round 7 next week, Talladega. Round 8, penultimate race on the schedule at Daytona. Talladega to wrap it up. And don't forget, after this one is concluded, another couple more races with the FEG PC Custom League and Events. Wednesday night, Wild Wednesday, Super Speedway Money Series. It's go time. It's overtime, number 1. And we're ready. Navarro getting ready to bring him to the green. Baker alongside. 2 to go here at Daytona. Jones, Lee will follow. Don't count out those other guys in the back. They might have a chance to try to climb in there if they can. They're working turn number 1. Matt Lee side by side. It's Jones, Baker, and Mills behind them. Last lap into turn number 2.
Watch out for Joshua McCullough here and George Bark. They got a head of steam up on this outside. They're going to have the 27 of Tucker McClendon with them as well, trying to pull it 3 wide back to turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Matt Lee, Andrew Navarro, shades of last week from Talladega. Who's it going to be this time on 4?
Navarro on the bottom. It's Matt Lee up on the top, and they are right there side by side with one another. Here comes the bump trap from behind. Who's going to give help? Navarro losing ground. Matt Lee's got the advantage. It's going to be close. Matt Lee's got Navarro, and they're crashing as they cross the line. Matt Lee, 2 in a row. Couple of Toyotas battling for a wild finish tonight at Daytona. Wow.
He does it again. He does it again, and not by just any margin. 0.01, and once we get the official or the unofficial race results here, presented by LiveSimRacingTV.com, at the end of this race, we're going to see what the official
of a second. Yes.
It will update, and we're going to find out. And man, if it is 7/1000ths of a second, that is going to be crazy. But what a job by Matt Lee to be able to hold on, stick to the outside, side draft Andrew Navarro just enough. But I tell you what, he better be sharing a portion of that, or at least DoorDash some food to Matthew Baker tonight, because that was all Matthew Baker giving him that massive push to the line here at Daytona. What a win for Matthew.
Can we see that last lap one more time, Charles? At least coming down the back stretch for the final time. Watch them on the back straightaway coming to the finish and set them up for us, Jason. What a wild one, man. What a way to wrap it up tonight. This race was interesting. I mean, they could have crashed each other. They waited until they worked off the final turn before they finally started having shenanigans again. A lot of respect, a lot of being given here. Rough, hard racing, not rough driving, but respect amongst all these guys. And Navarro and Lee, they went at it mono e swan coming to the checkered flag. And of course, Matthew Baker with the big assist, like in hockey on a goal. He helped him score the win tonight for 2 wins in a row on the series.
Yeah, they're all just pushing really hard, but you could see that Matt Lee is a lot closer to that bumper, also being up on the top side here, coming out of turn number 4 and right to the line. It was probably a little bit more than 7/1000ths of a second, but if it wasn't for Matt Lee giving that push on the outside, or not Matt Lee, but Matthew Baker rather, pushing Matt Lee. Yeah, the two Matts come together, and man, they get it done here. What? No way! He did it 7/1000ths of a second! He did it again!
Didn't he do the same last week?
Yes! Exact same time gap. Oh,
that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Same 7/1000ths of a second, and he got it done over Matthew Baker third. Matthew Lee from Clinton, Maine, the winner. Dylan Jones will go fourth. Look at, by the way, the finishing order, man. 0.066 from fourth to first. Amazing when it's all said and done. Tucker McClendon will finish in the top 5. Justin Mills is 6th. Nash Brambilla 7th. Joshua McCullough 8th. George Bark, way to come back to finish 9th. Devin Rea, top 10, Jason, here at Daytona.
Yeah, top 20, you got 11, Stephen Hendren. He was up there most of the night. Blaine Dalton, same as well. Richard Elliott, didn't talk about him a lot here tonight. He'll come home top 15. Josh Giambrone there in the 49-14. Ron Morris will round out the top 15. Christopher Blanchard. Allen. Aubrey Thompson, heartbreaker for him, trying to make it 3 in a row for the Money Series pretty much. 18th tonight. Trevor Osranoff in 19th. And Daniel Eberhardt 2 laps down in 20th after a strong run, getting taken out late in the going here at Daytona.
Damon Gilbert will settle multiple laps down, as well as John Ward, Kenneth McCullough, Samuel Carter, Danny Barnes, Logan York, and John Mollahan, the way it finishes up here, as he did not start the race at the 27 drivers that attempted here tonight at round 6 of the FEG PC Custom Wednesday night Wild Money League events. Boy, it was fun. And right now, look at the race summary presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you that it's holiday season to dig with care. Don't be a humbug and blow out your neighbor's power. 20 lead changes, 9 caution laps with 3 cautions. Very entertaining, exciting show. Quiet at the beginning, Jason. Good racing, doubled up 3 wide, but when they did, you know the gloves are off, and it's going to be a wild finish, and we saw that here tonight. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Coming up, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race wrap-up. That show will be returning to the airwaves on LSRTV in 2024, and we'll be back to talk to the drivers, especially Clinton Maines, Matt Lee. Not only does he win 2 in a row, as Jason reiterated on, he does it by 0.007 thousandths of a second 2 weeks in a row as well. We're back in a moment. Welcome back to the FEG PC Money Events and Leagues Wednesday night Wild Money Super Speedway Series Daytona. Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten did a phenomenal job on the production, as always, for your home for sim racing, and we'll wrap up our week of broadcasting with our post-race show. Boy, oh boy, Matthew Lee, we grab you first, the winner, man. What a show. 2 weeks in a row, 7 1,000ths of a second over your competitor. What assist by Matthew Baker, though, to help you get the win, man. You're taking this wild race tonight here at Daytona, my friend.
Well, first of all, I was feeling pretty dejected after I blanked out from the lead there, because I was sitting pretty, and Baker was too, with both of us right there. But that was just fun. I mean, I had to come from the back there after that and drive my ass off.
And Matt, congratulations, man. Might as well call you Ryan Blaney 2 times. You've done it now, 7 1,000ths of a second, similar to Blaney back in 2019 and 2020. And you do it here tonight, man. What are the odds you can go 3 in a row next week at Talladega?
I mean, that would be great. I mean, slowly dragging my way back into points in this thing. I don't know what the rule is on it, how many starts I got to make, but geez, I'm probably doing pretty good right now. So, I don't know, 3 in a row, that's tough, but we're going to see what we can do.
Good time tonight for sure, man. Thank your sponsors, Matt, and obviously a lot of, there was a lot of 3 wide racing, but would you say there was a lot of respect, though, on the racetrack? Nobody was really trying to block each other or wreck one another like the shenanigans we saw in that 30-plus caution American 500 on Sunday night.
Yeah, that was a frustrating race to be a part of, and this one definitely went green for a while. And we got to race, and actually got a green flag pit stop. So that was good. You know, all the crap that happened after kind of don't get up a little for a minute there, but you know, everybody that finished that race, you know, races with respect all the time. So, you know, nothing less expected out of that group, I guess you could say.
Thank you, sponsors, bud.
Yeah, Martin Sports, anyone looking for sim racing gloves, jerseys, anything like that, check them out, martinsports906.com. Anyone looking for some good open setup stuff, prssetups.com. Baker for the great push at the end. Always fun racing with him. Andrew, Dylan, fun racing up to the finish there. You guys are putting on the race, for the broadcast, and Jeff for the race.
Matt Lee, 2 wins in a row here on the FEG PC Money Series here at Talladega last week, Daytona tonight, and the assist 2 by Matthew Baker as well, as he just acknowledged him. We'll grab him on the podium shortly. Oh, and by the way, that's another hockey analogy. He'll try to go for a hat trick. That's 3 in a row here next, of course, Wednesday night at Talladega, where he got his first win. Let's talk to the runner-up of the event, Andrew Navarro. You've been in victory lane. You've been on the podium this year many times. Your take of this pretty wild finish coming to the line at Daytona tonight.
Yeah, it felt like deja vu from last week. We finished in the exact same finishing order again. I don't exactly know what the margin of victory was that Matt won by last week, but it was again me, Dylan on the bottom.
0.007.
Oh my god! So it happened twice, and then obviously Dylan and I were on the bottom, and then Baker was pushing Matt on the top. I really don't know how else I could have played that any better. They outbeat us, so that was a lot of fun though. Interesting race with the strategy, trying to do a one-stop, and some people could make it, some people couldn't, and then the yellows kind of just made it a mixed bag.
And Andrew, good job tonight, man, on finishing second. I know, obviously, you want that win just like you wanted it last week. You talked about deja vu, and man, tonight was really kind of a different race in my perspective that we've seen out of you. Usually, we're used to seeing you up towards the front of the majority of the race. Tonight, it was really kind of middle to back of the pack. Was there any reason why in particular that you kind of took that route? Did it kind of just play out that way, or was it the plan all along?
Yeah, it was the plan all along. I was trying to go the extra lap. I actually ran out of fuel going the extra lap because I had nobody out there with me. I think McCullough also ran out of fuel. Tried to save as much as I could. It didn't end up working out. We kind of lost the draft. So that was kind of a bummer and set us back a little bit. But we ended up coming back with the yellow and getting back up to the front.
Well, Bud, before we let you go, thank your sponsors. And, man, obviously, you know, if the roles are reversed next week, would you hope that their papers returned, or do you expect to see this kind of hard racing when it's all bets are off on that last lap?
No, it was not even like anybody did anything there. It was just hard racing, close racing, and then we actually got net-coded, pulled into each other. So definitely an interesting one. I would like to thank Celebrity Cruises, 7 Seas, Premier Racing Setups, Martin Sports, Adrenaline Captures, you guys for broadcasting, and Jeff for putting on the league.
There you go. There's the thoughts of Andrew Navarro, originally, of course, the Floridian 42. Check him out on the eNASCAR level as well and all the big money shows. He'll finish second here tonight. Let's grab the third place man. The assist to give Matthew Lee the win 2 in a row. The bunt to help him get it was the bump, I meant to say, was Matthew Baker. Matthew, man, you'll settle for a podium. And, man, I know, obviously, you wanted to win, especially after what happened on Sunday night in the American 500. But, you know, when do you stop looking at you trying to win yourself and just try to help somebody, give them a push to help them win?
Yeah, the thing is, just separate myself in points. You know, Andrew's doing a good job of that, and I feel like I've started to work my way through the point standings, working my way back into the top 5. Missed a couple weeks, so I knew that a couple top 5 finishes would secure my spot for this championship. It's just trying to get to this championship race, and I know that when I'm racing around Andrew and Dylan and Eberhard when he's not getting wrecked up front, that we'll all take care of each other. All 5 of us, my teammate Lee, so I don't have a problem being the Cal Naughton to the Ricky Bobby every now and then, but I do like winning the races. I thought I was in the catbird seat. Evan really couldn't get to my back bumper there in the restart. They span out 3 wide as well. It really killed that momentum on the top lane, so I knew at that point I was just going to have to push Matt to that win.
And Matthew, good job tonight, man, on finishing third. And obviously, you talk about, pushing somebody towards the win there. And do you think even coming off turn 4, I know how hard it is from being the second guy up on the top side to try to make it 3 wide and go for the win. Do you feel like there was any chance remotely for you to even jump up there just to try to see if you can maybe even get to the photo finish and get that win?
No, with this truck, it's all about where your momentum is, and you really got to push through the truck that's in front of you to keep that momentum, to give yourself a chance to get in the money. And that's the thing is it's top 4 pays. So if I make that move 3 wide, I maybe pull Matt back from a first or second back to a third, and I get 5th because the bottom stays tucked up by 3, and Tucker pulled out 3 wide a couple times on that lap, and I knew I had to stay in line with Matt to give ourselves a shot to try and get in the money, and we're able to do it off turn 4. Sometimes I think about pulling out 3 wide, but usually it doesn't work, especially at Daytona. The bottom is pretty dominant whenever the trucks are in a 2-lap shootout like that for a green, white, checkered, so I think I was okay with just staying second in the middle.
Fun time for sure, Matthew. Definitely, man. Hang in there. I know that we'll probably be talking to you in victory lane for the season's over. Before I let you go, man, thank your sponsors, and we'll see you next week in Talladega.
Yeah, just thanks to Coasting Thunder, MVG Motorsports, Baker Sun Construction. Thanks to Matt there. He had a little bit of bad luck there in the beginning, but glad he was able to recover, get back up to where we could work together again and get him that win. Thanks to Andrew and Dylan for racing us clean there. Working the same strategy. We're a little bit off on the fuel, but that's the nature of the beast when it comes to 50% fuel, and he puts it right on the mark. It's going to be a lot of riding around till you get to the end. But, another chaotic finish. I think each week we've gone to a green, white, checkered, so hopefully we can do it again next week for another chaotic finish.
There you go. And before I let you go, say hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Because I know Mom Baker is tuned in as well. So Matthew Baker, again, will finish in the number 3 spot on the podium. Andrew Navarro, runner-up in the number 2 position of the winner tonight. 2 weeks in a row by 7 1/1000ths of a second. You can't put this in a storyline or set it up in Vegas any type of way. Matthew Lee from Clinton, Maine picks up the victory. That's going to wrap up tonight's coverage, this week's coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. And Jason, real quick, buddy, you're taking the event. We'll see you next week in Talladega, brother.
Yeah, ready to go next week, man. So amazing that this race ended up in the same margin of victory. Can only imagine how close it's going to be next weekend from Talladega.
Going to be a fun one for sure for Rocket Racing Media, everybody at the FEG PC Custom Series. Rocket Racing Media's Jeff Stabdown, Charles Wooten for Jason Rockefeller. I'm Wesley Outland. Good night from Daytona. Congrats, Matt Lee, 2 in a row.